the bottom line. Why are the three pillars of sustainability important in tourism? The UNWTO's definition of sustainable tourism includes all three pillars. This shows us how intertwined they are. Why one pillar isn't enough. In Bali, you can find numerous eco-lodges made out of bamboo, cafes offering vegan food, and nature lovers practicing yoga and mindfulness. Sustainability seems to be important over there. At the same time, religious temples are full of half-naked tourists, paying no respect to Balinese and Buddhist traditions. Without respecting local and religious traditions, social sustainability isn't met. The center of Porto was getting more and more laced with B&Bs and hotels, while many houses got deserted because of rising rental costs. Local inhabitants had less space for living. So the social pillar of sustainability wasn't met until the city council stepped in. Now is only allowed to open any accommodation for short-term stays in Porto when you buy a deserted building and renovate it. An eco-lodge that practices lots of green strategies, such as being built from recycled materials, minimizing waste, and only using organic produce. When you visit Machu Picchu, there are only local Peruvian guides showing you around. Yet, it's not a sustainable activity, as too many tourists visit every day who leave waste and try petting the llamas. At places suffering from the environmental pillar of sustainability can never be met. Weaknesses of the environmental pillar. As a standalone, if protecting the environment is pursued without any consideration of the economic or social pillar, it can lead to a reversal. This is exactly what happened in the 80s in Africa when environmental laws prohibited land use to an extent that it led to starving African communities. In order to meet their basic needs, people started poaching, which caused a backlash of the law's original intent. Weakness of the social pillar as a standalone. A similar backlash can result from exclusively pursuing the social pillar of sustainability. When tourism leads to a higher standard of living for the locals, thriving local businesses, and growing education, this will attract people from other regions. In some cases, this can lead to extreme migration and rural, some secluded alpine villages in northern Italy. You will find completely abandoned as their inhabitants move to thrive in areas such as South Tyrol, where tourism is booming. How can we make a difference? Just as hotels, guides, and tour operators should check on a regular basis if their practices meet the three pillars of sustainability in tourism. So do we as responsible travelers. We should try to keep our footprint as low as possible in all three dimensions. Eventually, our travels should reinforce a positive connection between tourism, the environment, and poverty reduction. The importance is each and every traveler can make a difference. The model of the three pillars of sustainability can give you an overview to assess how sustainable any of your travels actually are. It may also give you a frame to consider the impacts of your actions and daily decisions during your trip. It's simpler than it sounds to become a more sustainable traveler. In all three dimensions, follows these three basic rules. Your actions on your trip should benefit local businesses and have as little effect on nature as possible. Economic pillar. Experience the environment raw and original, leaving it untouched. Environmental pillar. Adapt to the local culture and respect their traditions. Social pillar. Here are some recommendations. Use all resources responsibly to help to prevent it from becoming scarce. For example, water in dry regions, which can harm the environment as well as the local society. Support local businesses and booked with local guides or tour operators to both protect the social stability and the local economy. Stay in a guest house with locals so you won't spend more energy and water than an inhabitant. Plus, the money goes to the locals. Reduce waste and leave nothing behind to preserve a destination and make it enjoyable also for future travelers. This will benefit the destination environmentally and economically. Eat typical food at a local restaurant, street food stall, or at your guest house in order to avoid long transport distances and to financially support local agriculture. Use public and local transport and avoid flights and international rental-car companies for less CO2 pollution. And again, for the support of local businesses. Turn off electronic devices at night or use standby mode in order to save energy, costs, and preserve the environment. Buy boom, boom, boom. Buying fresh, organic, and local produce benefits your health and the environment and counteracts mass factory farming and bad working conditions. You'll notice that in some aspects you can easily adopt new habits and automatically make more sustainable decisions. In other aspects, you may find it harder or may get the feeling that you have to waive comfort, but you'll realize that sustainable travel doesn't mean abstinence, but a huge gain for you personally. The travel industry, the environment, and the locals at your destination.